Okay.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's having a wonderful Wednesday. I am really excited to introduce our spotlight leader for today. She is none other than Dr. Haja Yatela Zainal Abidin, the CEO of Yayasan Sime Darby. She has more than 27 years of experience with Sime Darby. She also addresses the critical needs of today's ever-changing society and environment. So let's give her a warm welcome. Hello, Dr. Hajas Yatela. How are you?
Hi, Ashileen. Thank you for the warm welcome. I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, so without further ado, let's kickstart our session for today. Shall we begin?
Sure. Yes, please.
Okay, so in what your first question will be, what is leadership for you?
Okay. Leadership, I think, is personal to everyone, but to me, it is something that I have to do in my position as the CEO of Yayasan Sime Darby right now to achieve the objectives of YSD while leading and working with everyone in the team, providing clarity to them so that everyone can work cohesively in one direction, and taking care of my whole team's needs at the same time so that we are able to work effectively and efficiently towards our goals. So that's what it means to me.
Wow, that's a lot of things to juggle.
Yeah.
As a leader. But what is your style for leadership at Darby?
Okay, now I would like to think
Hello.
that my style of leadership is a mix of authoritative leadership, where I chart the path and I set expectations while engaging and facilitating my team members to achieve our objectives. Also democratic. I share information with my team about anything that affects their work responsibilities and seek their opinions before making any decisions and empowering them to do certain things the way that they wish to do it. And then affiliative style, where I encourage team spirit, harmony, collaboration. For me, it is very important for my team to work together happily, like a family. But of course, family members fight all the time, but this is normal, right?
Yes, very true.
Empathetically as well, I try to set aside time to understand the needs of my team, being aware of their feelings, their thoughts. But I strive to make clear-headed decisions based on this understanding and not emotional ones. So it's a mix of these different types of a leadership. And I think that's true for everyone as well. There's no one style of leadership.
One style, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's very important to have a concoction of it so that you're dabbling in each different areas. But do you
and
mind
then
sharing?
use it. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, you were saying?
Required, right? So we use those different leadership styles in the different scenarios that we face every day. It's always different.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I agree with you, Dr. Hajayatela. But do you mind sharing some of the challenges that you go through practicing this approach of leadership?
Challenges that I face. The fact that YSD is always changing. Where do I start? It is always changing. The only thing that is constant in YSD is change. So only those very resilient can actually survive within YSD. I think it's the same with any organization as well. We need to always be on our feet because things come to us every day and we are required to change the way that we do things every day. And when we change the way we do things, we must not forget things like governance, internal controls, integrity, all those things come in play, right?
Yes.
So these are the challenges. And then also another challenge is to keep the best people. YSD is a charity organization. People leave for better pay, and to them it's a better perspective because they get better pay. But actually, I believe in Yayasan Sime Darby, we give you the best experiences, right? But every individual's priorities in lives are different. So the ones who stay in YSD are those who believe in the cause, and don't really mind the kind of remuneration. I guess you also in WAO, right? Those who work in charity understand this. So the ones who stay have the hearts in charity, but it's very difficult because the young high flyers, they come in just for a little while for the exposure and then they leave. So it's tough for us. The challenge is to train new young people every day.
Yeah.
That's, I
Yeah,
think, one of the biggest challenge.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it can be exhausting. And I think because we are
Mm,
very passion driven,
yeah.
and sometimes it's hard to just be constantly motivated and be passion driven throughout your career. Yeah, but thank
Yes.
you for
Yes.
explaining. It was very honest and you kept it very real. Thank you so much for that.
Mm.
This is one of my favorite questions. Is
Ah,
there a difference between men and women in leadership?
okay. We're always tempted to generalize. We
Mhm.
gender stereotype when discussing differences between men and women for anything, right? I acknowledge, I've been checking, I've seen quite a lot of research done on this specific topic. And I found that research found that women leaders are more transformational, collaborative. Women leaders use interpersonal skills and communicating with everyone involved to make decisions, much like what I do, I guess. We stay away from confrontation. We try to compromise. We negotiate. We are being more participative by
Mhm.
understanding people more. And the research also found, men leaders to be more autocratic, which means it is command and control. Not much input from the team. This is not me, this is what the research found. They are more transactional. They use rewards and punishment to get things done. They are individualistic, hierarchical. They make moves for more power, for more professional advancement for themselves. Aggressive, confrontational. But now, despite all what the research has found, I believe, I personally, actually, I'm surprised to find all these kinds of lopsided findings, right? Or positive to the
Uh-huh.
women. Because personally, my experience has been the other way around. I,
Okay.
I have encountered women leaders who are hard, uncaring, very competitive. It's like they have to fight to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And many men leaders who are caring, nurturing, understanding, supportive of me personally, very
Yeah.
team oriented. Of course, there were those who fit the descriptions of the research findings, but many others who do not. So I'm personally of the view that overall, it depends on the person, on the
Yes.
individuals, the personality of each person, not whether you are a man or a woman. Yeah.
Yes. I think whatever you said just now, completely, it's 100% true. I think it's based on their personality. We can't just
Yeah.
generalize that men, you have your ways, and women is this, and everyone follows these two different things. But I think
Yes.
I completely agree. And thank you for explaining it so well.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think that's just how the way of life is right now, rather than
And it's the
just judging.
perception, right? It's the
Yes.
perception.
Mm. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. And since you mentioned that,
Mm,
what do you think of the
mm,
perception that women cannot lead well and therefore
mm,
should not?
mm.
Or other words, the perception that a man must always be the rightful leader.
Now, perception is built based on how we were brought up, what we were taught since we were little, our
Mhm.
culture, our society beliefs, and our past experiences. Now, in many cultures, understandably, as the man is the physically stronger of the two genders, the man is perceived to be the rightful leader. Now,
Mhm.
take the animal kingdom lah. You see, alpha males residing over the harem of females, right? Being
Mm.
their leaders. So it is taken as that the man should always be the rightful leader. It is also taught to our children
Mm.
with actions, our actions, and also unwritten policies. Yeah, I know
Mhm.
this happens at certain schools right now also, because from my children's experiences, they come back and tell me.
Mhm.
And from my personal experience, when I was in standard 1, I remember only boys were appointed as class monitors, right? Girls would be the assistant class monitors. This is
Yes.
no matter what, no matter if there was a girl in class that's outstanding, more potential to be a more effective monitor, but she would always be assistant monitor. And she knew it. I was assistant class monitor in standard 1. Now,
So you're
this was
sharing
the,
your frustration that you wanted to be a
no,
monitor.
at that point of time, I was not frustrated because I understood, okay, I'm the girl, I am number 2. This is the subliminal message that's given to me, to everyone
Yes.
in the
Yeah.
school, you know. This is an unwritten policy that the school had, that the
Yeah.
boys were always the class monitor, the rightful leader. But one thing is good lah in that school is that the assistant class monitor always a girl, never a boy lah. So one boy,
Yes.
one girl.
Yes.
Ah, so,
Ah.
but I think experiences in the real world, right? No matter how you're brought up and all that, it will change perceptions. Now, once
Yeah.
you are given the opportunity to work with a really effective woman leader, this perception will change 180 degrees. It will change.
Yes.
No matter how you were brought up, no matter what you were taught when you were young. Now, for my children, for my children today, seeing their mother and some of my lady friends being in leading positions in our organizations, right? While their
Mhm.
father is also a leader in his organization. Now, this would not be their perception at all. I
Yes.
think this would
Yes.
apply to more and more children
Mm.
today. More and more women are given the opportunities to be leaders today, their mothers, their sisters, people who are related to them, so they can see. So this perception, maybe in the next generations, will be slowly reduced lah. Now, just to share lah, my daughter, just last
Mm.
week, I'm very proud of her. She won her campaign to be elected as president of the psychology cohort at UIA this year, the International Islamic University of Malaysia. So
Congratulations.
yes, her contender was a young man, and now he is the deputy president. So,
Whew.
so with more
Tabe.
opportunities, so with more opportunities given, I
Mm.
understand. I feel that perceptions will change, but we'll need to ensure that opportunities are given in organizations by people for
Yes.
people. Yes.
Yes, I think
Yeah.
that's what you say is absolutely right, because end of the day it's all about opportunities and the right exposure. We can
Yes.
change our perception. It's
Yes.
not set in stone. We can, if we allow ourselves with the
Yes.
right resources and we allow ourselves to
Mm.
learn and
Mm.
educate ourselves accordingly, right?
Educate the younger ones, especially, so that they will be brought up in a very friendly, equal, equitable environment. Mm.
Yes. Let's hope for that. Let's hope for the fingers crossed
Yes.
that we will be
Yes, I
able.
think it's happening today already. Yes.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of changes, and you mentioned about your personal experience as being the assistant monitor. That kind of brought me back, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, yes, I was an assistant head prefect, and
You see,
and a guy was a head prefect, and I'm like, you
I'm
see,
sure
and
you're
I'm on,
better than him, right, Ashileen?
of course, of course, yeah, but you're absolutely
Yeah.
right, and I'm really really glad that Malaysia we are on the
Yeah, like
move,
my
we are
daughter,
making
like
the
her
changes.
example is a
Mm,
sign to me, especially in an Islamic university, that the
mm.
same opportunities are given. It's depending on your merit, right?
Yes,
Mm,
that's
yeah.
very nice to hear,
Mm.
and it's nice to see that we are moving forward. We are allowing
Yes,
growth to happen.
yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
so you shared so much about your personal experiences and your life stories that has shaped you. But can you share a little bit about how did you become a leader?
Now, Ashileen, I became a leader by making many, many mistakes and learning from them. I'm not proud of my younger self as a leader, as I
Mm-hmm.
remember the many mistakes I made that impacted not only myself but my team members. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I try very hard not to forget those mistakes, and they help me sculpt myself today into being a much better person, better leader, to be more effective. As long as I remember to learn from these mistakes and don't ensure that they don't recur lah kan. Now,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I was very much younger, this example the mistakes I made. I was this slave driver lah. I had a pace setting style of leadership. I was
Okay.
too driven sometimes. I set the
Mm-hmm.
bar really high, pushing
Mm-hmm.
my team to run really hard and fast to the finish line.
Okay,
Now,
okay.
it was effective to achieve objectives in the
Mm-hmm.
shortest of time, because audit, because I was in audit before,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it's a cost center. So we needed to do things at the
Mm.
highest quality with the lowest cost. So
Okay.
with all the
Okay.
stress, it had this negative side line.
Mm.
It was hurting my team, very stressful, not only for my team, but myself. Were at risk of burnout by the way that I was leading, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think I do this to some extent now,
Okay,
but
okay.
I try to realize what's happening and stop
Mm.
when I just go overboard, and I try to be more understanding of the situation. I try to engage my team. I have to be more empathetic, I guess. With maturity, this comes so
Mm.
that I will only push and encourage my team to the point where I know that they are able to handle it. Because I cannot
Okay.
also allow things to be da di da. I can't allow that, right?
Yeah, of
I
course.
need them to push themselves so that they can always be a better version of themselves, right? So
Mm.
that's where I am. And but another thing, I became a leader that I am today, is that I must mention that I was given opportunities, priceless opportunities, by quite a few men.
Mm.
They were in power, they were my superiors. Now these
Okay.
opportunities handed to me, I cannot put a ringgit ringgit price to it lah.
Okay.
No women had given me these kinds of opportunities. I must say, I do not know. God made it so that men gave me these opportunities. They proactively leveled the playing field. They
Mm-hmm.
recommended for me to be promoted. They gave me all kinds of things while I was there in the position, to
Mm-hmm.
test me and see whether I could. And when I can, they just recommended me to be promoted. They gave me the responsibilities that they felt that I could handle, even though I did not have any experience in these leadership positions. And I shall forever be grateful to them and I'm glad, I'm blessed to have crossed paths with them, with these amazing male allies. And I really hope that more and more men will be allies to women, and I really hope that more and more women will empower other women,
Yes.
although I did
And
not have that opportunity.
yeah, it's so nice to hear that you had a really good support system, And
But I
I,
had also men who were discriminatory
of
those
course,
are
we need
stories
that
for another
balance.
day. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had, they actually stopped me from being promoted, because it was a time when I was like giving birth one after the other and all that
Of
stuff.
course. Mm.
They were not looking at my performance. They were just looking at the fact that I was a mother and stuff like that. And but there were men like that. But there
Yeah.
were also men who just leveled the playing field for me lah.
That's very nice to hear. And I think you're truly a remarkable leader because I think it's never easy to admit and to share to everyone that, I've made mistakes and I've learned so much along the way
Yeah.
and I am still learning. I think
Yes, always.
everyone will continuously learn regardless in
Yes.
any
Yes.
circumstances. So I
Yes.
think
Yes.
I think that's like a key point, One of the checkpoint to be a very good leader is to be very honest and raw with everyone with their personal experiences. So thank you so much for keeping it real with us. regarding your personal experiences. But as you were saying, you
Mm-hmm.
learned a lot and you made your
Yeah.
mistakes and all that. What
Mm-hmm.
are the most important values you demonstrate as a leader?
Okay. Usually women, right, we don't want to blow our horn, right? We don't want to say all the good values and all that. But I believe in order to inspire others, I should tell what I feel, that what my good values are, so
Mm-hmm.
that others will be inspired, others will be motivated. So I am sharing you mainly for this purpose. Yeah. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So the values that I feel that I have is that I
Mm-hmm.
am firm. I'm firm with my decisions, my instructions, strict with governance, integrity, clear on my with my directions for actions implementation, but
Mm-hmm.
also balanced with a suitable amount, right amount of empathy and care. Must have the balance to build
Okay.
the best organizational environment, to create that environment
Mm-hmm.
in YSD to achieve our objectives most efficiently. I
Okay.
feel that I am consistent with my methods and instructions so as not to
Mm-hmm.
confuse anyone. Now, I myself have experienced with my previous superiors confusing, inconsistent directions,
Mm-hmm.
inconsistent instructions, and I do not wish that for my team.
Yeah.
So sometimes, so so I have to be consistent, and sometimes I think my team knows me more than I do. No, they know already my decision, and they know already how
Happens.
to get to get me to agree with them, because
Uh-huh.
they know me very well. Because I have to be consistent. I have to be consistent,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Yeah.
try to be fair, and just. That is very important. I feel must be
Mm-hmm.
fair and just in all situations, no matter how difficult it is.
Mm-hmm.
Even though there may be compromises at times because limitations lah. We all have limitations, funding limitations, whatever limitations there is. But I will always ask for my team's opinions in challenging times on all these matters before making a final decision. Sometimes I also empower them to make that
Mm-hmm.
call, to make that
Mm-hmm.
final call. I empower them. So for me, this is important. That is the kind of values that I have. I'm also open. I'm open to questions and criticisms lah. I try very best, although I don't like it sometimes. I try very best to listen to everyone's perspectives,
Mm-hmm.
especially if they are opposite of mine. Of
Okay.
course, there are from time to time arguments lah, arguments, right?
Of
But they are
course.
healthy. And the fact that my
Mm-hmm.
team would like to argue and question, and that makes me feel that I am a successful leader, because they're not frightened and afraid of me to voice their opinions, because
Wow.
we are doing
Yeah.
all this towards effectiveness and efficiency for the organization. It's not for any individual success, it is for the organizational success. So for me, if anyone questions me, my team, I am
Mm-hmm.
successful. I
Yes.
practice this open door concept where anyone can come and see me and speak to me. Not hierarchical at all. Even with an intern, they can come to me if they have any challenges. They feel that they want to talk to me. I open my doors to them. Also, anyone from any other organization, right, who wishes to learn from my experiences, I like to mention lah, Puan
Mm-hmm.
Kirin from Afiat Holdings. Earlier this year, she made the trip all the way from Alustar to meet with me and to learn from my experiences. I'm very flattered, and I think I had made some impact for her to achieve her desire to
Mm-hmm.
improve her leadership skills. And I hope you are listening in, Kirin, and nodding your head in agreement that I did make some changes. So yeah,
Yes.
yes.
Oh, that's so lovely. That's really lovely. And I think because end of the day, we are all humans. We have a set of our strengths and weaknesses. And I think it's
Yes,
really healthy to acknowledge both.
both.
And
So yeah, I have to acknowledge my values as well. Yes,
yes, correct.
yes.
Yes.
Although
You're
we
doing
women very
great.
uncomfortable, right? We
Yes.
uncomfortable to say those things, but sometimes we have to say yes, yes.
Yes, I think because we were taught
Mm,
not to say those things,
yeah.
you
From
know.
young,
So
ah?
yeah, we were taught not to say it because macam we might be showing off or it's not good.
Yes,
Yeah, but
yes.
you are absolutely right. I think it's important for us to empower ourselves before we go empowering other people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, that's right,
that's
Ashileen.
very
That's right.
true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what would your greatest strength and weakness be?
Hmm. Okay. Strength a little bit susah kan?
Ah.
This one was a difficult. You gave me these questions before, so this was difficult for me. uh, but all right. Actually, also I asked my team. I have to admit, I asked my team lah. So because maybe my strength, what I feel in my strength might not be what people see in me. So but I think this is what my team and I agree that this is my greatest strength is focus and resilience, right?
Okay.
Now I'll share with you lah. Now I took on this position 14 years ago in 2010. From
Okay.
I had a totally auditing background. I was doing auditing. I was almost 12 years or something like that. With
Okay.
absolutely zero experience on running any operations aside from audit lah, you know.
Bold, bold.
much less a charity, right?
Okay.
And I just had a handful of team members at the time, less than 5. And with also just a handful of projects at that point of time. But that time also there were quite a few of scholarships already, even though they were nowhere to the numbers that we have today lah. There was no organization, no corporate charity organization then for me to benchmark against, you know. I could not ask anyone how. There was no point to learn from, etc., etc. So it was really challenging. I needed to really focus and to be really, you know, resilient. I can do it. I can do this, even though I do not know how to do it. I can do this. But
Okay.
today, I'm proud to say that YSD, we have 30 employees. Now we are running about 1,000 scholarships and 80 long-term projects at any one time. And
Wow,
today,
impressive.
other organizations benchmark against us, being one of the oldest corporate charity organizations in the country. So even the largest one today, I would say Yayasan Petronas, Yayasan Hasana, before they were set up, they came to see us to benchmark against us before they were set up.
Congratulations.
They are the biggest, right, in the country. So yes,
Yeah.
so it was challenging for me to take on this position with no, you know, especially reporting to my chairman at the time, Tun Musahita, right?
Okay.
Very demanding at that level. He was deputy prime minister at one stage in his life, being minister here and there. Now, we had to carry this charity work for one of the largest corporates in the country. So, and with the highest level of governance, that wasn't easy. But I'm blessed. I'm always very blessed. I learned so much from this very, very learned gentleman. And I reported to him for like more than 10 years, a decade actually.
Oh, wow.
Learning from him, I tell you, took absolute focus and resilience as well. Now, and today I report to our current chairman, Tunku Imran, Tunku Jaafar. Also learning from him, I'm totally blessed now. So you can see I had no choice but to be focused and resilient in order for me to be the first CEO, because there was no CEO before me, right? The first CEO of Yayasan Sime Darby. I had to be adapting to change. I had to take on new things in my life, leading a team that was growing, and in ever-changing situations. I tell you, I also completed my doctoral degree within 3 years.
Wow. Oh my
While working,
God.
yes, I
Like, Dr.
graduated in
Haja, what do
20.
you not do? Not do.
Now, even today, with all these challenges, I have challenges today now because of the structural change of our donor companies. I face challenges with donations and every day. So in YSD, as I mentioned, nothing is constant but change. And I believe what doesn't kill me will only make me stronger. Right? This motivates me to be focused and resilient for the good of YSD, my team, and I would like to think the nation at large because of all the work that YSD does today.
So basically, they provide you a very healthy platform for you to learn and grow and make changes.
Healthy, but challenging.
Yes, even
But we
listening to
learn.
it, I'm like, pening kepala.
But Ashileen, you also asked me about my weakness,
Yes,
right?
what are your
So
weakness?
I did mention that my weakness is I'm a slave driver, but now I use it for the betterment of my team. I feel to push them
Okay.
to be the best that they can be, because if nobody pushes you, you will not realize what you can actually do. If you
Yeah,
are
that's correct.
complacent, if you're only given what you feel you can do. So like, if only someone gives you the opportunity to do something that you think you did not think that you could do, that was the opportunity that was given to me, put in a
Mm,
position that I didn't think that I could do. Like,
yeah.
who was I to run this organization under Tun Musa Hitam? Who am I, at that point of time? But only with that kind of opportunities can someone become a better version of themselves. So that is a weakness which I have to what do you call it, maintain in order to make it good for somebody else. But
Mm.
other weaknesses would be the fact that I don't like confrontations. But in my job, sometimes sometimes I
Yeah,
have
yeah,
to
you have
deal
to talk. Mm.
I have to deal with difficult people, with my stakeholders, people that I really need to be on my good books, in my good books,
Mm.
but still very confrontational. There are people like this. I try to understand and I try to negotiate, but still confrontation I don't like lah. So I kind of give up lah easily lah with these kinds of people. So that's my weakness
Yes.
I only confront them when I don't have any choice.
Mm.
Last resort. And sometimes these things, the fact that I put it to the last, it causes delays lah, inefficiency, which is not in my DNA kan. So this is hard
Mm.
for me because it goes against what I believe. Efficiency is of utmost importance to me.
Mm.
But Ashileen, I don't think I can change. I don't like confrontations. So I have
Yeah,
to live
yeah.
with this kind of weakness lah. I don't think I can improve like this one. But
No,
but yeah.
but I think it's fine because initially when you shared about your weakness,
Yeah.
I really really admire the fact that you had that switch of how your weakness is working, is a positive impact on yourself, like how you did that switch as your weakness became your strength, you know.
Mm.
And I
Mm.
think,
I didn't think of that. Yeah.
yeah, and I think that's
Mm.
amazing. I think how
Okay.
you used your weaknesses
Mm.
as your strength, you know.
Mm. Mm. But I don't think for confrontation, I don't think it's a strength. I don't think I don't know
Maybe
how I can
work in progress.
work in
Work in
progress.
work in progress.
And then sometimes I think I need to improve better on communications. I'm not talking about verbal communications. I'm talking about things like, the platforms and the methods that I use to influence people.
Okay. The
Sometimes
delivery, okay.
sometimes you see that, I see people, they have that gift. They don't do much, they don't achieve much, but they really know how to impress their stakeholders, to get what they want. And they have the
Mm.
skill and I really envy them.
Okay.
I don't have that skill, not to point yet. I'm trying to, I'm working on it. Yeah, so that's another weakness lah. Oh, many weaknesses lah, Ashileen. We women we like to talk about weakness one. I tell you.
Yes. Yeah, I think we have to sit and then
Indulging.
just keep ruminating our weaknesses.
Yeah, but that's not good. We also have to think about
Yeah.
our strengths and how our weakness can become our strengths, right, Ashileen? You are
Yes.
on point on that. Yes, how our
Yes. I
weaknesses
think
can become our strengths. Yes.
yes, I think that's the aim we need to do, and we should stop ruminating on our weaknesses and amplify our
Use them, yeah.
strengths.
And
Yes,
use them
correct.
to be our strengths. Yes.
Yes. So with all this, where you share about your important values, your strengths, your weaknesses, how do you measure success as a leader?
Um, a leader's success is his or her achievements while working with his or her teams. That's all I can say, right?
Yeah.
So how I measure my success is what I had when I first joined. This
Mm-hmm.
handful of people
Mm-hmm.
doing what we were doing,
Mm-hmm.
and what are the number of people that I have in my team, how big my team is today. and the kind of work that we are doing and the impact that we're making with our work. So that, to me, is the success of me as a leader. And I think everyone who are leaders should also do that. The measurement of success is what you had before as a leader and what you have now lah. And what you strive to be in future, what you strive to have in future.
Yeah, so it's like a timeline. It's your past,
Yeah.
your present, and your future. It's a
Yeah.
timeline.
Yes.
Okay, that's a lovely way for you to put how you define,
Yes.
how you measure success. But
Mm-hmm.
can a leader fail?
Oh, of course. Humans, we humans always fail at anything and everything
Yeah,
we do. Usually at some point or in our lives, everything we do, even though we're the most awesome person doing it,
yeah,
we will fail at one point. Even the most efficient, most successful leader will always fail at some point lah. But of course, we always fall and we get up and we learn from
yeah,
our failures, right? So
yes,
leadership success depends on internal, external factors as well. So you learn from those communication breakdowns, right?
yeah,
Especially due to age and background differences in my team. Now my team, loads of young people lah, right?
mm,
So all the different ways of thinking. So sometimes different we need to communicate things differently in order for them to understand what I'm trying to say. So
yeah,
sometimes there is communication breakdown, and then
yeah,
sudden quick decisions that
mm,
needs to be made by CEOs, right? Out of
mm,
our control, but we have to make that decision. So we don't have time to really look at everything before we make certain decisions. And
yeah,
then as I mentioned just now, like our human capital, right?
mm,
The good
mm,
people leaving, and then we
yeah,
are left, and then we hire the wrong people. We cannot achieve our objectives. Those kinds of failures, and then work environment, sudden structure changes that is put on us, and then like how when,
yes, yes,
and
yeah,
then
mm,
another thing I think sometimes leaders fail because they takut, they don't want to address challenges that come up to them suddenly, right? They want to take it
yeah,
easy, push the challenges
mm,
aside first to deal when they feel that they, absolutely need to, they procrastinate.
mm,
Sometimes it's too
mm,
late already. So they don't realize that these challenges sometimes can empower them to achieve what they didn't even think that they can achieve, to make those big differences and to do
mhm,
great things. I have to remind myself too lah, when these kind of challenges come to me, right?
mm.
It's an opportunity,
Yeah,
I need to learn, I
yeah.
need to do
I'm keeping a
something.
mental note. I'm keeping a mental note for myself.
Yeah. So don't
Because I think,
procrastinate. Yeah.
yeah, I
Mm.
think you're correct because yes, everyone fail. We're only humans, but I think we
Yeah.
need to gather the strength to gather
Yes.
as much tools and resources, pick ourselves
Yeah.
up, and move
Yeah.
forward.
Yes.
You know.
And don't be afraid to fail,
Yeah.
because you do not know if you start with an idea that you will fail. Okay, if you fail, you pick yourself and we learn lah. But
Mm.
maybe you will not fail addressing this challenge. Maybe you will succeed and succeed big. You don't know, right? So
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
afraid to fail. I have to
Yeah.
always remind myself of
Yeah.
that too.
Again, we have to flip that switch because I think our mind automatically goes to the worst case scenario.
Kan?
It
Yes,
just
that we're
straight
going to
away
fail
goes
already,
there.
right? But
Yeah.
maybe failing is a good thing too, to learn,
To learn.
right?
And maybe it's just us reminding us to hit the pause button and see where did
Yeah,
we do wrong and then
yeah,
to just move forward, right? Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's an amazing point of view that you
Yeah.
shared. What
Mm.
is your hope for others climbing their way up?
My hope is for others to climb for the right reasons, right? It is
Okay,
not always about your personal gain.
okay,
It
okay.
is it is so that you can contribute,
Mm-hmm.
of course, to yourself lah. Some
Okay.
of it is your personal gain, yes, but also
Mm-hmm.
contribute to others,
Mm-hmm.
to the organization, to your team members, to your community, to your country. So that is my hope. So when you are climbing, have that in mind, that you are
Okay.
doing that for the right reason.
So
So
it's more of a
you,
collective effort rather than your own personal gain.
yeah, and I believe that if you have that objective in mind, doing it for the right reasons, you will be assisted by the Almighty as you go up. Yeah,
Yes.
I believe that is true. Yeah.
Well said, well said. I agree with you 100% on this. I think it's all about trying to allow yourself to collectively be with everyone and see, kind of recheck where's your aims, where's your objective leading to? Is it more of a personal gain, or
Yeah,
it's
there
based on
must
your
be some
passion?
personal gain, lah, of course, right?
Yeah. You have to be a little bit selfish, right?
Yeah. But in the scheme of things, yes, you are just small
Okay.
compared to everything else, kan?
Okay. Okay. So now our questions are going to be
Yeah.
redirected to WAO. Okay.
Ah.
What about the work at WAO that gets you excited? Oh, I want to hear all this.
Now, the fact that WAO is able to do all these effective national advocacy work so well, that gets me excited. It makes positive differences in individual lives, lah. That is what WAO does now. We have been supporting WAO. Can you believe it? 16 years already, you know.
Wow.
Now, until
Wow.
the end of 2025, with a total sponsorship of 8.7 million. This is until 2025, 16 years.
This.
Almost
Wow.
9 million. Now, at the beginning, Yayasan Sime Darby, we sponsored the operational costs for
Mm-hmm.
shelters, for your shelter, for
Mm-hmm.
domestically abused women and their children,
Mm.
and also all the efforts to get them back on their feet, to fight for their rights, you know, in court, holding their hands in court, etc., counseling and all that stuff. Now,
Yeah.
currently, our support has moved up to enable WAO to assist the government and all stakeholders towards the promotion of gender equality,
Yes.
protection, advocacy for domestic violence, women survivors and their children, and then to reform national policies. Like WAO developed guidelines on setting up and operating domestic violence shelters in the country, launched by the
Yeah.
minister at the time, remember?
Yes.
And also improving existing domestic violence and employment laws, proposing new laws in supporting of gender equality in Malaysia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the anti-sexual harassment bill, right?
Yes. Mm. Yep.
Passed in 2022 July, and then the anti-stalking bill,
Yep.
and then August, right? 2022, and then the inclusive budgeting, collaboration with MOF. So, and the fact that your WAO's number 2 in the management team, after, of course, the amazing Sumitra, the CEO, is Renchung.
Yeah.
A male ally now, who
Mm.
just completed his master's at Oxford University in the
Mm-hmm.
UK
Mm.
under scholarship. Now this actually speaks so highly of the kind of people that WAO has to do all
Yeah.
this important work for the good of the nation and its people, and people like you, Ashileen,
Oh, thank you.
right? Every single person in WAO, you are making that kind of difference. That is what makes me excited about WAO, all the impact that you do for the country.
I think my smile is just widening. But honestly, we are
Mm.
truly blessed and grateful that Yayasan Sime Darby has been one of our pillars of strength for years. And we really, really appreciate you, just
Yeah,
for you to know
we
that.
also, yeah, all right, thank you for that. Yeah, we
Okay.
also are blessed to be part of your efforts as well.
Thank you so much. So, what more would you like to see from women in Malaysia?
Women should support women. Now,
Yes.
by empowering, coaching other women, providing them the opportunities, because we've all been there, you know. It's we know how difficult it is.
Yep.
We should just stop stereotyping, right?
Yep.
I tell you, not only men stereotype, women stereotype as well. That is
Yes.
our weakness. We are guilty of that. We have to change our mindset. So we must believe that women and men have the same abilities. And if we
Yes.
believe that, and if we are given the same opportunities as men, we will have the confidence that we are able to be as good, if not better,
Yep.
than our superiors, men or women. So let's just stop sabotaging ourselves, And we
Yes.
always must choose to be in environments where we are treated equally, where there is equity. We have that choice. So choose well and support each other. That would be what I would like to see from women in Malaysia.
Yeah, because we want the same thing. We want a
Yeah.
bright, healthy, and a good future for all women in Malaysia. So why
Yes.
go against one another? It should be a
Yes.
team effort.
And
Yes.
not only going against one another, we go against ourselves. We don't believe in ourselves.
Well,
We
that's work in
sabotage.
progress. That's work in progress. Dr. Haja
We just have to
Angela.
stop. Yeah, we have to stop thinking that we have to believe, right? It's work in
Yeah,
progress, but we have to always remind ourselves, we can.
we can, and we
We can.
must.
We
We
must
must. Yes.
for the
So
future, yeah.
what about the men? What more would you like to see
Ah,
for men in Malaysia?
now, as I mentioned before, quite a few of my past male superiors were just exemplary lah. I keep on saying that I'm blessed, right? I am. And I would like to see, if possible, more and more men in Malaysia exhibit these kinds of leadership traits, these kinds of leadership skills, mindsets. Men in power should not only appoint women in leadership or board roles as a token, or to meet the equality requirements as put on organizations now, right, by the country, to be seen to be inclusive, to hop on that sustainability bandwagon, SDGs and all that. Please put only the most suitable women in these positions. Now, not those who are, unable to do the job, because there are as many women as there are men who are unable to do the job, right?
Yeah.
But if you go and find those right women and put those right women there, they can make the difference for your organizations, for you, benefit you personally as well. So as long as men believe in their hearts that diversity assists in making better decisions, it will also bring in more profits, better things for the
Well said.
organizations.
Well said. Honestly, yeah. I think end of the day, as both men and women, as we work together, I think Malaysia will be a wonderful place. And before we proceed with our last question,
Yes.
I think we have a couple of Facebook questions right now. Do
Oh,
you think
all
we'll
right.
be able to just maybe answer one before I
Okay.
conclude the last question?
Sure.
Okay, so we'll see. You are now on a non-profit board. Can you share insights on that experience? Yeah.
Oh, I am currently on 3 non-profit boards.
Okay. So share your experience.
Very different, very different experiences, because they are of different sizes
Okay.
and different maturities. In one, I am learning, right?
Okay.
In 2, I am providing my experiences towards governance and compliance. That's my forte, right? Internal auditor and finance, all that. As well as the fact that YSD, being a charity organization, practices the highest level of integrity and corporate governance as part of our mission, makes me, what do you call it? Kiranya macam the right person to be advising them on this lah.
Okay.
It's very fulfilling when I get to help these non-profits to improve. And when a non-profit like just starting up, one of it is just starting up, Yayasan Sime Darby, I would like to mention them, and they have achieved so much today, achieving what they have dreamt with a little bit of my expertise in governance and my team. So I actually brought in the YSD team as well. This is our CSR, not only giving funds, but also expertise in what we do. to them in order to be where they are today. And
Mhm.
I'm very proud of where they are because of what they do, and it's very fulfilling for me to be on these organizations to do good. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, and I'm also very proud to say that I was recently appointed by the Minister of Youth and Sports, YB Henayo, to
Mhm.
be on the board of Majlis Sukan Negara.
Wow,
Yes.
congratulations!
Also a non-profit, I would think lah, a different type of non-profit, but
So
also
proud of
to,
you.
yeah, thank you for also contributing towards governance, etc. But at the national level, so I'm very excited for this new role. It's just only recent, yeah.
Oh wow, that's such a great news. Honestly, you will do amazing. Just listening and you sharing all this, I feel you've inspired many of us here. So I
I
think
hope
we're
so.
coming towards our end of our session. I have one last question for you.
Okay, okay.
How do you think we can make Malaysia a better country for women?
With synergy by working together. The government, NGOs like WAO, corporates like Sime
Mhm.
Darby, charities, to ensure equality and equity for women in all aspects of our lives. We
Yeah.
must work together. Now, during, I mean, we have to look at how to make things better for women in Malaysia during all, as you say, the timeline of our lives, during our studies, during our working lives, in our various life roles, as mothers, as daughters, as wives, or as managers in our workplaces. We have
Mhm.
to look at every single role of a woman in
Mhm.
order to better the situation in the country. Now, I'm happy that WAO is taking this onto yourselves to assist the government, all stakeholders, to achieve a
Mhm.
better Malaysia for women. I think together we have achieved so much, yeah?
Yeah, yeah, for
The
sure.
sexual harassment bill, making stalking an offense in the penal code, yeah, amendment of the Employment Act to increase paternal leave from 3 to
Yes.
7 days, and an inclusive budget.
Yep.
So
Yep.
much has been achieved so far, but so much more needs to be done, and we cannot just rely on WAO or government. We have to do it all together. We must do this together. That's how
Yes.
I think we can achieve a better Malaysia for all women and for all families and for everybody, actually.
Everybody. Yes.
For everybody, yes.
Yes. Yeah. True. I
Mm.
think it's so important for us to think it's not just
For
one
women,
specific
yeah,
group. You know,
yes,
it's
because yeah,
everyone.
it'll benefit everyone. Yeah.
Yes. I am really inspired just talking to you, Dr. Hajat
Oh, I'm
Yatela.
happy. I'm happy that I've done that.
Yeah,
Because
thank you
like
so
we all
much.
have this kind of perception, right? So yeah.
Yeah, because this is one woman supporting another woman here. you know?
Yeah, women empowering
Yes.
women. Yes.
Yes. So thank you so much for spending your time with us. I honestly
Pleasure.
have a lot of mental notes in my head that what I should do to become a very good leader and continue being this amazing, courageous, fearless woman. I think there's so many exciting roles coming up for you, and I know that you will do your best. And thank you so, so much.
Thank you, Ashileen. Thank you so much, WAO, for this opportunity as well.
Take care.